Dragon Ball Shenron no Nazo.
It wasn't long after Dragon Ball Dragon Daihikyo was released that a second Dragon Ball game was going to emerge. The game was Dragon Ball Shenron no Nazo, and it marked the beginning of many future Dragon Ball games to be produced and distributed by Bandai. Here's a fun fact for you, it's one of the only 2 Dragon Ball games on the Famicom that is not based on the Card Battle series. It was developed by Tosei Software, a company known for being a ghost developer, having co-developed over 1,000 games, but chose not to be credited in any of them, as their wish was to be behind the scenes and follow the company's vision and not theirs. Shenron no Nazo, or Shenlong's Riddle, was released in Japan on November 27, 1986, and with Tosei's involvement, Shenron no Nazo sold over 1 million copies, getting ranked the 9th best-selling Famicom game of that year. We take on the role of Son Goku, fighting our way through enemies in a mixture of 2D overhead and side-scrolling gameplay. We quickly learn that Goku's most basic attack is a punch so hard it sends the enemies flying across the screen. We can also perform a jump kick, but this ability is only available during the aforementioned side view. Goku can also pick up his power pole, which can be found in capsules along the way. The power pole really doesn't make Goku any stronger, but it does give us a better reach. We also discover that we can pick up turtle shells, which is necessary because it allows Goku to perform his trademark move, the Kamehameha. We can find other items in capsules as well. Meat and cupcakes will replenish Goku's health or POW meter by either 20 or 100. Red power poles will give us the power pole if we didn't have it already, and allows Goku to do 3 twirl attacks. Super power poles grant us similar effects like the red power poles, but Goku's twirl attack will last longer. Red turtle shells will allow us to perform the super Kamehameha, meaning we can shoot 3 blasts at the same time. Panties, yes, panties, gives Goku a speed boost, which I really don't know why he's not Master Roshi. The Nimbus Cloud teleports Goku near the end of the stage, which can be a blessing or a curse, depending on if we have the required items to advance to the next level. Other items that may not necessarily be found in capsules are keys for certain areas and Dragon Balls. Levels 1 through 6 roughly follows the first 2 volumes of the Dragon Ball manga, with each level being like that of a chapter. Level 1 takes place on Mount Pazu, with Goku meeting Bulma, Turtle, and Master Roshi, with the boss being Bear Thief, who wants to gobble up Turtle. Level 2 takes place in Aru Village, with the boss being the shape-shifting pig, Oolong. Level 3 takes place in the Diablo Desert, where we fight against the desert bandit, Yamcha. Level 4 takes place on Fire Mountain, with Ox King being our final opponent. Level 5 covers the chapter involving Fungus Town and the rabbit mob leader, Monster Carrot. And level 6, taking place in Pilaf's castle with Emperor Pilaf not being our final enemy, but some weird 2-headed monster. Once Pilaf is beaten, Bulma will assemble the Dragon Balls, and Shenron will come forth to grant us our wish. We are given 4 options to pick from. Option 1 simply makes the dragon sprite that we see at the title screen move. Option 2 allows us to jump to the chapter Rabbit's Revenge, bypassing the Kung Fu training levels that take place during the second half of the game. Option 3 increases our POW meter max level from 150 to 250. And Option 4 just cuts to the scene where Roshi sees Bulma's panties and gets a nosebleed. At this point in the game, levels 7 through 4 follow an original story made specifically for this game, with levels 7 through 10 involving Goku entering a Kung Fu tournament, and levels 11 through 14 taking place a year later, with Goku looking for the 4-star Dragon Ball that Grandpa Gohan bestowed to him. These levels consist of Goku going into space, traveling to a place called Seven Island, and going to Konpei Tower. Once completed, Goku summons the dragon, and once again we are given another wish. There are 2 options that are the same from the first time we summon the dragon, move dragon title, and get panties, while time travel restarts the game with our current score and power level, and Touch Bulma replaying the cutscene with Master Roshi touching the transformed Oolong's chest. Yeah. So, what are my thoughts about the game? I found Shenron no Nazo to be honestly quite frustrating, and this is due to a mechanic that happens in-game. It makes sense that whenever Goku takes damage from enemies, his POW meter goes down. Understandable. However, his POW meter also decreases just by playing the game. It's automatic, So whether you're standing still or going out of your way to avoid enemies just to advance to the next level, it's going to decrease. I think it's playing on the idea that when Goku is hungry and hasn't eaten for a while, he becomes weak. To me, this mechanic acts like an unofficial time limit, and once you reach 0, you're dead, and you have to start at the beginning of the level again. Also, the game doesn't refill your health if you advance to the next stage, so if you're at death's door, you're screwed. Granted, you have infinite continues, but still, that means you have to frantically check areas for capsules, or fight enemies and pray that they drop some meat or a cupcake. But of course, when in these desperate situations, you end up getting useless things like question marks, which are simply bonus points. It's bullshit! The controls aren't terrible, but I found performing the Kamehameha to be bothersome. B causes Goku to punch, or use the power pole when obtained. If you want to perform the Kamehameha, you have to hold down B first, then press A, which doesn't sound too bad, but how it's executed shows how annoying it is. So you hit B, and Goku will punch. He's always going to punch or power pole first. After doing this, you think just hitting A is going to fire off a Kamehameha, but no, you have to wait until Goku gets into the iconic stance, and that's when you can use the Kamehameha, which sadly isn't even an energy wave. It looks like Goku is shooting a cloud out of his hands. With this in mind, it means if an enemy is all up in your face, you can't really use the Kamehameha to create some distance between you. This makes it hard to know if you actually pulled it off, because half the time, enemies are just charging into you, creating that post-invincibility effect, which causes you to blink. This is unfortunate because I found myself heartily using the Kamehameha throughout the game. I'd like to take this time to mention that I'm playing the Famicom version, with a translation patch by the translation group TransBRC. It's a rather rough translation, but still, there's a link in the description on where to get the patch. So, does that mean that there was never a US version? Oh no, there is one. It's called Dragon Power, and man oh man does the US version get butchered. This was due to Dragon Ball not yet having an English dub, which wouldn't happen until roughly 10 years later. Still, to me, I see no reason why you couldn't keep some original elements the same. If you take a look at the US box art, it replaces Goku with some American Kung Fu stereotype. Kind of reminds me of Daniel LaRusso from The Karate Kid. The dragon looks pretty cool though. In-game, they altered Goku to make him look more monkey-like than what he should, getting rid of his iconic Saiyan hair and tail. Which, yes, Goku is based on the Monkey King, but to me it's really weird looking. Master Roshi has been changed to look more like an old martial arts master. He looks more like a wizard to me. Bulma's panties have been changed to look like sandwiches, which honestly makes more sense that Goku would run faster collecting a sandwich than panties. The dialogue in the game has been changed as well, with Bulma being called Nora, Yamcha called Lancer, Oolong called Pudgy, the Kamehameha is referred to as the Wind Wave, and the Dragon Balls are called Crystal Balls. And of course, raunchy scenes like Bulma showing Master Roshi her panties have been censored or changed as well. Also, the Kung Fu levels have been removed entirely from the game, and you start level 7 at the chapter Rabbit Gang 2. There's also a European version of the game as well, only released in France, yet they were able to retain the art and music from Dragon Ball. Believe it or not, out of the 3 versions that are out there, I like the French version the most. Why, you may ask? Well, get this. If you plug in a second controller, push down, it will refill your POW meter, giving you a lot more freedom to take your time and enjoy the game. Keep in mind, you can still kill yourself by going beyond the max POW limit that's in-game, which is around 260. Also, hitting B on controller 2 skips stages. So if there's a stage you're struggling on and you just want to see the other stages, there you go. Oh, and the European version also removed the Kung Fu levels as well. Speaking of levels, I personally say once you beat the Emperor Pilaf chapter, just consider the game beat and move on to better things. Honestly, I found the other stages not worth my time, but that doesn't mean you should skip it if it's your first time. For example, in the Kung Fu levels, you fight against Krillin, Metal Soldier aka Major Metallitron, and Booyan. Also, seeing as how the second portion of the game is an original story, some original characters were designed by Toriyama himself, which is pretty cool. There's a character called Carillion, an alien creature with similar features to that of Krillin. Not to mention his name is a combination of Krillin and Alien. I have to wonder how amazing would it be if we could combine the pros of each version and clean up the rough translation. We would no doubt have a much more powerful Dragon Ball game experience. If you can get a hold of the Famicom version, I say give it a go and have fun experiencing the second Dragon Ball game ever made. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please smash that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and feel free to follow me on my other social medias as well. Love you guys, be inspired by how limitless the world is, and go out and do what you want to do. Later!